Hey everybody, this is Nicole with Nicole Conway Speaks, and I have a special guest today. This is the beautiful Linda Nicole Johnson, and she is a makeup artist in Austin, Texas, and she is a very dear friend to me, my sister friend, and we have been trying to do this interview for the longest, but we decided to do it on the anniversary of a major surgery she had. So today I'm interviewing Linda to talk about her journey before her surgery, during the time she was going through her transition, and where she is now. So I would like to introduce you to all to Linda Nicole Johnson. Linda, tell us a little bit
Hey,
about yourself.
let's see. Linda Nicole, originally from Killeen, Texas, right outside of Austin, about 45 minutes away. I've been in Austin over 20 years. I work for Austin Community College in Human Resources. I have 8 siblings. Yes, 8 siblings. 6 brothers and 2 sisters. Then I am the baby, number 9. Let's see. I'm currently here with my mom, visiting her. So I do go back between Killeen and Austin periodically. And yeah, that's me. Former makeup artist. Sorry, no longer practicing makeup. I
When
moved
I come
on
to
to
Austin
other
and I need
things.
it for an emergency, I sure do call.
Right? Yeah. Emergencies only.
Okay. So that's a little bit about Linda. So let's get into why we are here. She is celebrating 1 year of after she had her surgery, which was the gastric sleeve. So I wanted to talk to Linda about what she went through mentally, physically, and where she is now, because I know a lot of people are questioning, whether they should do it or not. So this would be a great topic I felt that we should all discuss so we can get Linda engaged. So my first question is, what made you want to do the surgery?
Well, my first thought for doing the surgery was I had gotten so heavy and I was working out, eating right, and I just couldn't lose it. I was trying different things, what I used to do before. Back in 2014, I had lost and got down to like 230s. And that's when I was doing my CrossFit and eating right. And that was probably about 5 or 6, well, 2014.
Okay.
And then, within the last year or so, I just couldn't get back to that mentally or physically. I'd go to the gym every now and then. I wasn't consistent. I couldn't stay on my eating. I tried keto, and that did not work for me. And I'd lose about 5 pounds and gain 10. And so, strokes run in my mom's family. All my mom's siblings, it's 5 of them, have all had strokes. My mom has had a stroke 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And so I was trying to break that. And I researched the bariatric sleeve because one of my sorority sisters had it done. And when she had it done, I never thought I would end up doing that because I always thought it was, just for cosmetic because, you can't get the weight off. So, you want to go under the knife. But after doing my own research
Mhm.
and found out that, it will help you reduce your medication, your way of life, because most of my family, my siblings are on blood pressure medication,
Right.
high cholesterol, CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I was so tired of taking medication that I just wanted off. And the only way I was going to get off is if I lose the weight. And I wasn't able to lose it on my own. So doing my research, I found that out. And that's how I decided. It was mainly for health reasons. Well, that was my number one reason, for health reasons. And I just felt so uncomfortable in my body that I needed to get this weight off.
Right.
So,
How do you feel after you've had the surgery?
well, I feel great now.
Mhm.
Um, 2020 has been challenging for pretty much everybody. It's been especially challenging for me. After the surgery, I've had multiple health issues. And I believe that the surgery kind of contributed to that. But if I didn't have the surgery, I wouldn't have known. And it may have been even more severe than what it was if I didn't have the surgery and the weight started dropping off. So, yeah, I feel much better. I'm in a much better headspace, a much better place, mentally, physically. and I'm getting there emotionally as well.
So, do you have any regrets for having the surgery? Because, like you said, you weren't able to figure out what your medical conditions were until after you had it. Are you glad you had it so you could discover what those were?
I'm glad now. Originally, a week and a half after I had the surgery, I had a mild stroke,
Hmm.
and that was devastating to me. It was right when COVID hit.
Right.
So, being rushed to the ER and them telling me that my family can't be there, they can't come in. They're set in the parking lot, my brother and sister and brother in law waiting to try to get in to see me or to be there with me. And I had to do it by myself. As I sat in that hospital room, I did have regrets of having the surgery because I believe that's what caused it. And so after that, speaking with my cardiologist and my primary care neurologist, and them telling me that, anytime you have trauma to the body and you have underlying issues such as the cholesterol, the blood pressure, sleep apnea, it could cause that, to have a stroke. So it wasn't necessarily the fact that I had the surgery, but it played a part in getting me to where I was with the stroke. And it could have been a very more severe stroke if I hadn't had that surgery. I could have been out somewhere and, have had the stroke and it could have been worse. But yeah, I did feel at the time that, I had major regrets. I said, I'm never going to let anybody else go through this surgery because I had such a hard time for the first 6 months
Mm-hmm.
on top of the stroke, just trying to eat and get used to not taking in much water, much liquids, much food, just feeling really very uncomfortable and not myself.
Right. Do you think that had COVID not happened, if you were in that same situation and you had more family and friends around to kind of, be there for you physically, do you think that your situation would have been a little bit different had you had people around you as opposed to you being by yourself?
I definitely think, though COVID has been detrimental to everybody's life, I do feel that COVID helped me because my siblings could be there for me,
Mm-hmm.
around the clock. And I didn't have to go back to work
Right.
because we're working from home. We've been working from home since March because I had my surgery the week before spring break so I could recover the week of spring break. And then that following week is when we were supposed to go back, but we weren't able to due to COVID. So I definitely believe that if it hadn't been COVID and I had the surgery and all I went through, I probably would have been out of work for probably 3 to 4 months.
Mm.
But I
Okay.
was only out of work for a month because I was able to get a laptop from work and work from home. And so I would work, take breaks when I needed to, do my appointments virtually if I didn't have to go in, and still be able to work and keep my job and not have to use up all my time. So COVID helped me in that sense.
So it was a blessing in disguise, even though it looked a little grim because you had the stroke, but still you had the support you needed and you were able to work from home.
Yes, yes. And it took a while for me to see that
Mm-hmm.
because, I'm so in my head with, why did I do this? Why did I have this surgery? I'm only 48. Why did I have a stroke? And this is why I was having the surgery to prevent the stroke. And I had one anyway, And so it took a while to realize that, God was working.
Mm-hmm.
He knew this, He knew what He was doing, and I had to get to a place to be comfortable and have faith, knowing that this was all His plan, not my plan, His
Right.
plan, and
Mm-hmm.
to just let His plan play out. But at first, you don't see it like that. It's just, why am I going through this? What's going on? What's going to be next? Because then I had another issue after the stroke, so it's been a lot.
So I always talk about mental health and how important it is in our lives that we take care of ourselves the whole nine. And your situation was an extreme self-care situation because you were doing it more for your health more than the vanity. So
Definitely.
as far as mental health is concerned, what did you deal with mentally while you were going through being at home and trying to deal with the stroke and just everything in general, adding on to it already being a pandemic? How mentally did you deal with all of this stuff? Did you seek a therapist? Was it some self-care things that you did for yourself to help you to get into a better space?
Um, well, I did go through some depressing times. Just because I was having that feeling like, why me? Like I said, I have 8 siblings and they're all older than me,
Right.
but I am the youngest and I'm having, the health issue. And I wanted to do this also, the surgery for my family so that they can get healthier and see, I've done it. Now you can do it, if you feel the need to. But also, once I had the stroke, I was like, okay, I got to a point to where I was sleeping all the time. I was always tired. I had no energy. I just wanted to stay in the bed. I felt helpless. And you know me, I'm the type of person I go, 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 go,
Yes.
nonstop. I mean, if it's going to bed at midnight, okay, getting up in the morning, do it all over again. Everything planned, from doing the makeup to working to, side hustles, sorority, everything. I just felt like all of that was gone. Like that wasn't me anymore. It's like, who am I? Who am I going to be now in this new body, in this new frame of mind? Because I didn't feel myself.
Right.
Um, with the doctors trying to figure out how I had the stroke or why I had it. So I had doctor's appointments, some 2 and 3 times a month, getting blood work done, medical bills coming in, and I'm like, how am I supposed to pay for all of this? So yeah, all of that played a part in my mental health. No, I did not seek a therapist, but I am planning on getting one because just to kind of sort through all that I've been through,
Right.
have that outlet and somebody to talk to. Because you can talk to your family, you can talk to your friends, but you really need somebody, professional help, somebody that is, non-biased to, knowing you personally.
Right.
So I definitely am getting a therapist just to kind of go through all that because I've been through some stuff. I have been through some stuff from, after the stroke. I had a TEE, which is when they take the camera and take a picture of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they discovered I had a hole in my heart.
Mm.
And so then they put a heart monitor on me. I had to wear a heart monitor for 30 days. Because of the sleeve that you're not eating, I don't get hungry. And I ended up passing out,
Oh my goodness.
like straight blacked out. Woke up, thought I had just been sleeping because I didn't eat all day. And then after wearing the monitor for 30 days, they decided they're going to close the hole in my heart. So I had to get what's called a PFO. So they did the PFO and they also put a chip right up under the skin, which is a heart monitor, and it monitors my heart rhythm.
Gotcha.
Because I was born with the heart murmur years ago. I mean, I had surgery when I was 5 years old, but I hadn't had no problem since then. So because everybody's born with a hole in their heart, it closes up once you get older. Well, mine never closed up.
Gotcha.
And so as I'm going through this day procedure to get the hole filled, the doctor hit an artery going through my groin and caused me to bleed.
Mm.
And as they were taking me to the recovery room, the staff, the nurses on the floor discovered that my blood pressure was dropping, my heart rate was dropping, which also happened during the procedure. So now the second time, they rushed me to get a CAT scan. They discovered that I'm bleeding internally. So when I woke up, I was in ICU.
Wow.
And I look up and see, blood hanging on the pole, and I'm like, what's going on? And so, yeah, I had to get a unit of blood. So I ended up in the hospital for 3 days. So after that, my sister was like, you got to slow down, no more. Tell your friends, whatever you have going on, whatever your plan is, you got to stop because you've had too many instances. This was my 5th time in the hospital within, 7 months?
Wow.
The year wasn't even over yet. So October was the last time I was in a hospital. And so, after that, I kind of it gave me time to think, what's really going on here? Why have I been going forward and backwards and forward? And how do I get out of it? And so I started getting on a daily prayer call, which I have a nephew that's in LA that has a church, Water Street Baptist Church. And so I've been getting on a prayer call every morning. And so I've made out my list of what I'm going to do. I have the prayer call in the morning, read daily, focus on me, focus on my health, and just get my mind right and get in a better headspace.
That is so good to hear. People always say, with the mental part of it, that you're crazy. That's the term that we used to use in our community and just in general. But they say, that's a spirit and we need to get you to the hospital and get that spirit prayed off of you, but it's not, it's a chemical imbalance. And it's just like any other disease, mental illness rather, is a disease just like anybody else's. It needs to be taken care of, whether it's medication, prayer, therapy, whatever. Sometimes you have to do all those together. So it's so good to hear that you are in a good mental space after all this, because you could have easily broke after dealing with all those medical issues after you were trying to get yourself into a better place. While you were talking, I was visualizing The Wiz when the evil witch was melting and they all just here a brand new day. And they all
Yes.
That's how I see you. Like,
yes,
this is the new me. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna look like when I come out of the skin.
Okay.
I'm gonna get all of this black girl magic. So that's what I was picturing as you were.
Oh, wow. That'll be my new theme song.
Yes, I'm just glad that I had the opportunity, not just to know you before the surgery, but while the surgery, while you were going through your
Yes, because I was reaching out to you.
Yes, and I remember you dealing with individuals, with life, with work and everything. So it was a huge transition for you. And to see that you are in this space now is amazing. And I'm so happy to be your friend and your sister that I can interview you today and we can have this open discussion. And I just hope that this discussion is able to help other people that are deciding whether they want to have the surgery or not, because people are very private. They don't want to talk about it. They want people to think, oh, I just lost all this weight magically. No. But I thank you for your transparency.
Yes, and I was kind of uneasy about, doing the interview. I wasn't ready because I did not share this with everybody. I shared it with a close friend. I didn't tell my BFF until like 2 weeks before, and some of my family for 2 weeks before.
Oh, really?
Because I know I was going to need their support, whatever I was going to go through. But I didn't, because I didn't want any judgment, because this is something I was doing for myself. I had done my research, and I had talked to a couple of friends that had it. And so I wanted to make sure that this was my decision and not other people's decision. So when I told my sisters, I told them together, and they were like, wait a minute. Okay, we support you. I said, well, just do your research. If you have any questions, let me know. And my sister that lives in Austin, she came to one of my appointments with me. So I wanted her to hear from the doctor as well.
Right.
But yeah, so, and I toyed back and forth whether or not I was going to tell people, I had surgery, or no, I'm just eating right and I'm just, exercising. I did go through that. But I'm not the type of person that is dishonest, because I can't keep up a lie. So I don't lie. Right. Okay. So when people ask me, I do tell them, this is because I want to be the one to tell them. I don't want to hear it from somebody else, or I don't want anybody to have any presumptions. And I'm not worried at this point in my life or this stage of my life what people think of what I did and why I did it, because that's my business and that's my choice. It's not their body, it's mine.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm at that point to where I'm gonna tell you this is what happened, this is what I did, and if you have any questions, I can tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly if you're interested in getting it done. Because everybody's didn't. The people I talked to, they didn't tell me any ugly. They didn't have any ugly, but they might not have had no underlying health issues the way I did. So that's why I had the ugly but part of it. But I'm in a group on Facebook, and different people talk about things that they're going through. And there's some things that they went through that I haven't gone through or I may not ever go through. But you should do your research and you should talk to people that have had it done.
Right.
So you can get different perspectives.
So what was your starting weight and what is your weight now?
My starting weight, I was 297. And then I had to do the 2-week liquid diet before surgery because they want you to shrink your liver. And I think I went in at 282 surgery day. And now I'm about 181.
Wow.
My goal was 199. I just wanted to be up under that 200 mark. But I'm still losing because I had on some jeans yesterday. I bought a size 14 from Express. I haven't shopped in Express since I was 20 maybe, if then, 18. And there are 14 regular and they are too big. So,
wow.
Yeah. And when I first bought them, they were tight. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're tight. And I said, oh, well, I'm going to lose a little bit more and they're going to be perfect. No, they were too big. I kept pulling on them yesterday. And I was like, thinking I was already at a plateau, but I'm not. I'm still losing.
So what do you want your goal weight to be after?
I passed my goal weight. My goal weight was 199. Even when I was 210, I was like, if I don't lose any more, I'm good because my size was good. I felt comfortable. I could bend down and tie my tennis shoes without choking. And anybody that has the sleeves, they will tell you when you're able to cross your leg comfortably, that is like icing on the cake. Like you feel like a whole new person. And I find myself crossing my legs just naturally. And I haven't been able to do that, if ever. Ever. So I'm waiting to get on a plane so that I can put that seatbelt on without having to get an
extender. Yeah.
Girl. So it's the little things that count. Yeah. It's the little things. So yeah, I'm happy. I feel healthy. I'm not doing a lot of strenuous exercise. I do try to walk every day, and do a little weights because, when you lose the weight that quick, you do get a little saggy, but I don't care. Y'all have to take me as I am.
That's right.
Flappy and all with my wings. I don't care. But
so do you recommend, even though you went through those difficult times with the surgery, do you recommend the surgery to others? And if why or why not?
Depending on what you're going for, what are you doing it for? Now, I'm not for the cosmetic, but I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But if you have health issues, I tell you, I'm a big fan of 600-pound life. And I thank God I never got to that, but I didn't love food like that. So I would never got to that. But if you have health issues and your weight is killing you and you cannot be mobile, because I wanted to be able to sit on the ground and play with my nieces and nephews. I wanted to be able to go outside and play with them and move and not be confined by my weight. So if you have health issues and you can't be mobile, get out your house, definitely consider getting it. But you need to do your research your doctor, go ask questions, have that consultation, whether it takes 1, 2, or 3 times, but make sure that you are comfortable with that person and comfortable in your decision. Many people don't tell their family because they fear their judgment, and I'm so blessed that my family and friends were so supportive. Not one person said, why are you doing this? Or just pray about it, or let's just eat right, let's just do smoothies, let's just, nobody said that. My family was like, okay, if this is what you want to do, we'll support you, you know, and we're here for you. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, but I would, like I say, do your research on your doctor and everything.
So what groups would you recommend that people would go to? Like, say, for instance, there is somebody watching this and they really want to do the surgery, but they've had people around them, family members and friends saying, you shouldn't do that. You know, you could die from this, or something tragic can happen to you. What do you recommend to them? Like, what kind of groups should they get in to have support? Because everybody doesn't know that there's support out there for this. And because people have judged them, they shy away from trying to find somebody to help them. So what
Right.
places would you recommend for them to check out?
Well, first of all, if you're not seeing a therapist, I would recommend you getting a therapist. They
Yeah.
do have weight loss therapists as well.
Okay.
You can get on the gastric sleeve Facebook supportive groups.
Mhm.
That's a very good one. I've met people locally that are on the group and post videos on cooking and eating and, you know, just different things that you go through or that you may go through, different products that you can buy to help you for your pre-op, post-op, and, you know, during. People can reach out to me if they like. I would love to be a support for somebody, um,
How
you
can
know,
they get in touch
considering
with you?
going through this.
Like,
Hmm?
how can they get in touch with you? Like through your email or something?
Yeah, you can do my email, which is linda.n.johnson@gmail.com, or through Facebook, Linda Nicole, and you can instant message me or DM me, and I would love to tell you, you know, a little bit more about my journey and some things that you should do, some do's and don'ts with going through the process and how to get started.
That's awesome. That's awesome, because
Yeah.
everybody doesn't have the support that you had in their
Hmm.
corners. You know, some people I've noticed. I'm in that group with you because I have a friend that actually kind of got that thing started. So to see people say that their spouses have left them,
Yes.
or that is horrible. I mean, you
Yes,
definitely need
people are no longer have their best friend because now they're small and their best friend isn't. So then you have their jealousy, which to my point, that was never your friend in the beginning.
That's right.
You know, there's husbands that left, wives that have left. Yeah, it's really crazy. But yeah, I mean, people are people, and you know, so and that kind of helps you realize who's in your corner or who has been in your corner for you genuinely, and who hasn't all this time. You know, it's an eye opener. So yeah.
Now I do have a question. So since you have gone through this, what valuable lessons have you learned from doing this on the positive side, not the negative side, on the positive side? What have you gained? Have you gained more knowledge, or learning more about yourself? You know, kind of give us a little bit of that as well.
Let's see. Um, Let me think. What have I learned? Um, I learned that, you know, my weight doesn't define me. I'm
Mhm.
still the same person, you know, just, you know, a little bit smaller, a little bit more comfortable in my size. And I think this has really made me aware of people in my corner, you know, who's in my corner and who's not. And it's also affected me mentally and helped me reflect on how I perceive myself
Right.
and whether or not I accept what how other people feel about me. Um, you know, you'll say like, you know, I don't care what somebody thinks about me, but really in the back of your mind or in your head, you really are concerned whether or not, you know, somebody likes you or what they think about you. And I had to realize that, you know, only person I need to be worried about is God, you know, and what he thinks about me, and to make sure that I am doing his work and that I am a living testimony.
I love it. So my last question:
What?
if I were pretend I was somebody you didn't know, and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, I love to hear her story. I think that's great. What advice would you give to the person that was watching this, that is still trying to, you know, teeter in between? I know they need to do their research, But what valuable nugget would you give them as far as getting ready to do this surgery?
Make sure that you love yourself now, before the surgery, and you'll love yourself even more after the surgery. Make sure you're doing it for you. Because it's not that I did the surgery because I didn't like myself. I mean, I still was cute. I
Yes.
love my hips and my butt that I have, somewhat lost now. But that's all right. I'm gonna get them in shape and still be fine. So
That's
it
right.
wasn't that I didn't like myself. I just didn't like the size I was. I wasn't comfortable. You can't bend down and tie your shoes without feeling like you're gonna choke or pass out, or everything's just tight and confined.
Yeah,
But love yourself first and who you are. Get to know you and be happy with you,
I love it.
and and get some help if you need some, even if you don't feel like you do, just to talk to somebody. Because a lot of times it's those underlying issues or those things from the past that you have suppressed for so long. And when you go through the process or through the surgery or anything, it resurfaces. And then you're like, what's going on? But it comes out when it comes out. So if you can tackle that ahead of time, that would be great.
So you highly recommend somebody getting a therapist as they go through this process to help them because they're uncovering a lot of things as well as shedding that weight off of them.
That's exactly right. That's a good point. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Well, that's all the questions I have. I am so glad that you guys just don't know the process. It took me a while to get Linda to agree to this. I don't know. Well, let's wait. But she finally said yes. So that was all that mattered to me. And I just felt that it was very important for people to see somebody that looks like them, that will be real with them, that will be transparent and share their truth. So this is a major accomplishment for me with
Yes.
this interview here.
And my story's not over yet. So look, part 2, because my story is not over yet. I
I
still.
love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys for joining us. I am Nicole Conway with Nicole Conway Speaks, and this is my lovely friend, Linda Nicole. Until next time, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you the next time we come by. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Nicole.
Absolutely. Thank you for being
Love
here.
you. Them Nicoles.
Hey.